Now, dear devotees, welcome back to the daily readings of Srila Prabhupada's books, right here in Hythe, Kent, Southeast England, right next to the English Channel. I'm sitting here with Abhay Das Brahmachari, my trusty, loyal, and completely competent assistant. Oh yes, he's frowning over there, but it's not true. He's becoming such a good cook that even Nirukula, my mother, better half of Vaisheshika Prabhu, who's one of the best cooks in the world, just wowed over the cooking when she came here and had Abhaya's cooking. So we can't complain. Even though the world is turned upside down by so much confusion, hate, mismanagement, etc., etc., still, here we are in the haven, putting out transcendental sound to help the situation. Srimad Bhagavata Mahima Stotram by Sanatana Goswami says it all about the Bhagavad-gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. It goes like this. Sarva Shastrabdi Piyusha Sarva Vedaika Satpala Sarva Siddhanta Ratnaja Sarva Lokaika Drikprada. O nectar from the ocean of all scriptures, singular fruit of all the Vedas, rich mine of the precious gems of all conclusive truths, you are the only giver of sight to all the worlds. Sarva Bhagavata Prana Srimad Bhagavata Prabho Kalidvandoditaditya Sri Krishna Parivartita. O life air of all the Supreme Lord's devotees, O Master Srimad Bhagavatam, you are the sun risen in the darkness of Kali. You are the exact image of Sri Krishna. Paramananda Pataya Prema Barshakshadayate Sarvada Sarvasevyaya Sri Krishnaya Namostume. I bow down to you who are supremely blissful to read. Your every syllable pours down a flood of prema. You can always be served by everyone. You are Sri Krishna himself. Madeka Bando Matsangin Madguro Man Mahadana Man Nistadaka Mad Bhagya Mad Ananda Namostute. My only friend, my constant companion, my spiritual master, my great wealth, my savior, my good fortune, my source of ecstasy, I bow down to you. Asadu sadhuta dayin atini chochata kada hanamuncha gadachin mam premna rit gantayokspura. O bestower of saintliness to the unsaintly, O exalter of the most fallen, please never leave me. Always appear in my heart and my voice with pure love. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, the universal form, we reached the 11th chapter, and Arjuna was overwhelmed with awe in the beginning, but now he's full of fear, and he asked the universal form, who are you? I don't know what your mission is. So Krishna is going to explain what his mission is, beginning with text 32. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kalos Smi Lokachayak Krit Pravido Lokan Samahar Tumiha Pravitaha Rite Pi Tvam Na Bhavishanti Sarve Ye Vashtitak Pratyanikeshu Yodaha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Time I am, the great destroyer of the worlds, and I have come here to destroy all people. With the exception of you, the Pandavas, all the soldiers here on both sides will be slain. Purport. Although Arjuna knew that Krishna was his friend and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he was puzzled by the various forms exhibited by Krishna. Therefore, he asked further about the actual mission of this devastating force. It is written in the Vedas that the Supreme Truth destroys everything, even the Brahmanas. As stated in the Katha Upanishad 1.2.25, Yasya Brahma Chatram Cha Ube Bhavada Odanaha Mrityur Yasyo Pashichanam Kaita Vedayatrasaha. Eventually, all the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and everyone else are devoured like a meal by the Supreme. This form of the Supreme Lord is the all-devouring giant, and here Krishna presents himself in that form of the all-devouring time. Except for a few Pandavas, everyone who was present on that battlefield would be devoured by him. Arjuna was not in favor of the fight, and he thought it was better not to fight. Then there would be no frustration. In reply, the Lord is saying that even if he did not fight, every one of them would be destroyed, for that was his plan. If Arjuna stopped fighting, they would die in another way. Death could not be checked, even if he did not fight. In fact, they were already dead. Time is destruction, and all manifestations are to be vanquished by the desire of the Supreme Lord. That is the law of nature. Text 33. Tasmat tvam utishta yasho labaswa jitva shatrun bhungshvarajam samridam mayai vaihite nihitat purvameva nimittimatram bhavasavyasachin. Therefore get up, prepare to fight and win glory. Conquer your enemies and enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement, and you, O Savyasachi, can be but an instrument in the fight. Purport. Savyasachin refers to one who can shoot arrows very expertly in the field. Thus Arjuna is addressed as an expert warrior, capable of delivering arrows to kill his enemies. Just become an instrument, nimittimatram. This word is also very significant. The whole world is moving according to the plan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Foolish persons who do not have sufficient knowledge think that nature is moving without a plan, and all manifestations are but accidental formations. There are many so-called scientists who suggest that perhaps it was like this, or maybe like that. But there is no question of perhaps or maybe. There is a specific plan being carried out in this material world. What is this plan? This cosmic manifestation is a chance for the conditioned souls to go back home, back to Godhead, back to home. As long as they have the domineering mentality, which makes them try to lord it over material nature, they are conditioned. But anyone who can understand the plan of the Supreme Lord and cultivate Krishna consciousness is most intelligent. The creation and destruction of the cosmic manifestation are under the superior guidance of God. Thus, the battle of Kurukshetra was fought according to the plan of God. Arjuna was refusing to fight, but he was told that he should fight in accordance with the desire of the Supreme Lord. Then he would be happy. If one is in full Krishna consciousness and his life is devoted to the Lord's transcendental service, he is perfect. Text 34. Dronam cha bhishmam cha jayadratam cha karnam tatanyan apiyoda biran maya hatang tvam jahima vyatishta yudasvaje tasi rane sapatnam. Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna, and the other great warriors have already been destroyed by me. Therefore kill them and do not be disturbed. Simply fight and you will vanquish your enemies in battle. Purport. Every plan is made by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but He is so kind and merciful to His devotees that He wants to give the credit to His devotees who carry out His plan according to His desire. Life should therefore move in such a way that everyone acts in Krishna consciousness and understands the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the medium of a spiritual master. The plans of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are understood by His mercy, and the plans of the devotees are as good as His plans. One should follow such plans and be victorious in the struggle for existence. Text 35. Sanjaya uvacha etach chutva vachanam keshavasya kritanjalir vipamana kiditi namaskritva bhuya evaha krishnam sagadgadam bitabitak pranamya. Sanjaya said to Dhritarashtra, O king, after hearing these words from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the trembling Arjuna offered obeisances with folded hands again and again. He fearfully spoke to the Lord Krishna in a faltering voice as follows. Purport. As we have already explained, because of the situation created by the universal form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjuna became bewildered in wonder. Thus he began to offer his respectful obeisances to Krishna again and again. And with faltering voice he began to pray, not as a friend, but as a devotee, in wonder. Text 36. Arjuna uvacha stane rishi keshatava prakirtya jagat prarishyat anurajyate cha rakshangsi bhitani disho drivanti sarve namasyanti chasiddha sangaha. Arjuna said, O master of the senses, the world becomes joyful upon hearing your name, and thus everyone becomes attached to you. Although the perfected beings offer you their respectful homage, the demons are afraid, and they flee here and there. All this is rightly done. Purport. Arjuna, after hearing from Krishna about the outcome of the battle of Kurukshetra, became enlightened, and as a great devotee and friend of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he said that everything done by Krishna is quite fit. Arjuna confirmed that Krishna is the maintainer and the object of worship for the devotees and the destroyer of the undesirables. His actions are equally good for all. Arjuna understood herein that when the battle of Kurukshetra was being concluded, in outer space there were present many demigods, siddhas, and the intelligentsia of the higher planets, and they were observing the fight because Krishna was present there. When Arjuna saw the universal form of the Lord, the demigods took pleasure in it, but others, who were demons and atheists, could not stand it when the Lord was praised. Out of their natural fear of the devastating form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they fled. Krishna's treatment of the devotees and the atheists is praised by Arjuna. In all cases, a devotee glorifies the Lord because he knows that whatever he does is good for all. Text 37. Kasmach chatena nimaran mahatman gadiyase brahmanopyadikartre anantadeveshu jagan nivasa tvam akshadam sadasat tat param yat. O Great One, greater than even Brahma, you are the original creator. Why then should they not offer their respectful obeisances unto you? O limitless One, God of gods, refuge of the universe, you are the invisible source. You are the invincible source, the cause of all causes, transcendental to this material manifestation. Purport. By this offering of obeisances, Arjuna indicates that Krishna is worshipable by everyone. He is all-pervading, and he is the soul of every soul. Arjuna is addressing Krishna as Mahatma, which means that he is most magnanimous and unlimited. Ananta indicates that there is nothing which is not covered by the influence and energy of the Supreme Lord. And Devesha means that he is the controller of all the demigods and is above them all. He is the shelter of the whole universe. Arjuna also thought that it was fitting that all the perfect living entities and powerful demigods offered their respectful obeisances unto him, because no one is greater than him. Arjuna especially mentions that Krishna is greater than Brahma, because Brahma is created by him. Brahma is born out of the lotus stem grown from the navel of the abdomen of Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, who is Krishna's plenary expansion. Therefore Brahma and Lord Shiva, who was born of Brahma, and all other demigods must offer their respectful obeisances. It is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam that the Lord is respected by Lord Shiva and Brahma and similar other demigods. The word Aksharam is very significant because this material creation is subject to destruction, but the Lord is above this material creation. He is the cause of all causes, and being so, he is superior to all the conditioned souls within the material nature, as well as the material cosmic manifestation itself. He is therefore the all-great Supreme. Text 38. Tvam adideva purushak puranas, tvam asya vishvasya padam nidanam, vitasi bejam chapadam chadama, tvaya tatang vishmanantarupam anantarupa. You are the original personality of Godhead, the oldest, the ultimate sanctuary of this manifested cosmic world. You are the knower of everything, and you are all that is knowable. You are the supreme refuge, above the material modes, O limitless form. This whole cosmic manifestation is pervaded by you. Purport. Everything is resting on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, He is the ultimate rest. Nidanam means that everything, even the Brahman effulgence, rests on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. He is the knower of everything that is happening in this world. He is the knower of everything that is happening in this world. And if knowledge has any end, He is the end of all knowledge. Therefore, He is the known and the knowable. He is the object of knowledge because He is all-pervading. Because He is the cause in the spiritual world, He is transcendental. He is also the chief personality in the transcendental world. Text 39. Vayur yamognir vadonak shashanka prajapatis tvam pratipap prapita mahascha namo namaste stusahasukritva punascha bhuyo pinamo namaste. You are air, and you are the Supreme Controller. You are fire, you are water, and you are the moon. You are Brahma, the first living creature, and you are the great-grandfather. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you 1,000 times, and again, and yet again. Purport. The Lord is addressed here as air because the air is the most important representation of all the demigods, being all-pervasive. Arjuna also addresses Krishna as the great-grandfather because he is the father of Brahma, the first living creature in the universe. Text 40. Namak purastad ataprichtataste namostute sarvatra eva sarva anantabiryam mitabikramastvam sarvam samapnoshitato sisarvaha. Obeisances to you from the front, from behind, and from all sides. O unbounded power, you are the master of limitless might. You are all-pervading, and thus you are everything. Purport. Out of loving ecstasy for Krishna, his friend, Arjuna is offering his respects from all sides. He is accepting that he is the master of all potencies and all prowess, and far superior to all the great warriors assembled on the battlefield. It is said in the Vishnu Purana 1.9.69, Yo yam tavagato deva samipam devata ganaha sattvam eva jagat shrasta yatak sarvagato bhavan. Whoever comes before you, even if he be a demigod, is created by you, O Supreme Personality of Godhead. Texts 41 and 42. Saketi matva prasabam yaduktam. Hey Krishna, hey Yadava, hey Saketi, ajanata mahimanam tavedam maya pramadat pranayena vapi yach chavahasar tamasat kritosi bihara shayang sanabhojaneshu ekotabap yachutatat samaksham tat chamaye tvam ahamaprameyam. Thinking of you as my friend, I have rashly addressed you. Thinking of you as my friend, I have rashly addressed you, O Krishna, O Yadava, O my friend, not knowing your glories. Please forgive whatever I may have done in madness or in love. I have dishonored you many times, jesting as we relaxed, lay in the same bed, or sat or ate together, sometimes alone and sometimes in front of many friends. O infallible one, please excuse me for all those offenses. Purport. Although Krishna is manifested before Arjuna in his universal form, Arjuna remembers his friendly relationship with Krishna and is therefore asking pardon and requesting Krishna to excuse him for the many informal gestures which arise out of friendship. He is admitting that formerly he did not know that Krishna could assume such a universal form, although Krishna explained it as his intimate friend. Arjuna did not know how many times he may have dishonored Krishna by addressing him, O my friend, O Krishna, O Yadava, and so on, without acknowledging his opulence. But Krishna is so kind and merciful that in spite of such opulence, he played with Arjuna as a friend. Such is the transcendental loving reciprocation between the devotee and the Lord. The relationship between the living entity and Krishna is fixed eternally. It cannot be forgotten, as we can see from the behavior of Arjuna. Although Arjuna has seen the opulence in the universal form, he cannot forget his friendly relationship with Krishna. Text 43. Pitasi lokasya chadachadasya tvam asya pujas chagurur griyan natvat samostyab yadikat kutonyo lokatraye prapatima prabhava. You are the Father of this complete cosmic manifestation, of the moving and the non-moving. You are its worshipable chief, the supreme spiritual master. No one is equal to you, nor can anyone be one with you. How then could there be anyone greater than you within the three worlds, O Lord of immeasurable power? Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is worshipable as a father is worshipable for his son. He is the spiritual master because he originally gave the Vedic instructions to Brahma, and presently he is also instructing Bhagavad-gita to Arjuna. Therefore, he is the original spiritual master, and any bona fide spiritual master at the present moment must be a descendant in the line of disciplic succession stemming from Krishna. Without being a representative of Krishna, one cannot become a teacher or a spiritual master of transcendental subject matter. The Lord is being paid obeisances in all respects. He is of immeasurable greatness. No one can be greater than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, because no one is equal to or higher than Krishna within any manifestation, spiritual or material. Everyone is below him. No one can excel him. This is stated in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad 6.8. Natasya karyam karanam chavidyate natat samas chabhyajikash chadrishyate. The Supreme Lord Krishna, his senses and a body like the Supreme Lord Krishna has senses and a body like the ordinary man, but for him there is no difference between his senses, his body, his mind, and himself. Foolish persons who do not perfectly know him say that Krishna is different from his soul, mind, heart, and everything else. Krishna is absolute, Therefore his activities and potencies are supreme. It is also stated that although he does not have senses like ours, he can perform all sensory activities. Therefore his senses are neither imperfect nor limited. No one can be greater than him, no one can be equal to him, and everyone is lower than him. The knowledge, strength, and activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are all transcendental. As stated in Bhagavad-gita 4:9, Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatpataha chaktva deham punar janma naitimam iti sorjuna. Whoever knows Krishna's transcendental body, activities, and perfection, after quitting his body, returns to him and doesn't come back again to this miserable world. Therefore, one should know that Krishna's activities are different from others. The best policy is to follow the principles of Krishna. That will make one perfect. It is also stated that there is no one who is master of Krishna. Everyone is his servant. The Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi 5:142 confirms, Ekale Ishwara Krishna Arla Sabhabritya. Only Krishna is God and everyone else is his servant. Everyone is complying with his order. There is no one who can deny his order. Everyone is acting according to his direction, being under his superintendence. As stated in the Brahma Samhita, he is the cause of all causes. Text 44. Tasmat pranamya pranidhaya kayam prasadaye tvam ahami shamijam piteva putrasya sakeva sakyu priyak priyaharyasi deva sodhum. You are the Supreme Lord, to be worshipped by every living being. Thus I fall down to offer you my respectful obeisances and ask your mercy. As a father tolerates the impudence of his son, a friend the impertinence of a friend, or a husband the familiarity of his wife, please tolerate the wrongs I may have done you. Purport. Krishna's devotees relate to Krishna in various relationships. One might treat Krishna as a son, or one might treat Krishna as a husband, as a friend, or as a master. Krishna and Arjuna are related in friendship. As the father tolerates, or the husband or master tolerates, so Krishna tolerates. Text 45. Adrishta purvam rishito smidrishtva bhayena cha prabhititang manome tadeva me darshaya deva rupam prasida devesha jagan nivasa. After seeing this universal form, which I have never seen before, I am gladdened, but at the same time my mind is disturbed with fear. Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me and reveal again your form as the personality of Godhead, O Lord of Lords, O abode of the universe. Purport. Arjuna is always in confidence with Krishna because he is a very dear friend, and as a dear friend is gladdened by his friend's opulence. Arjuna is very joyful to see that his friend Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and can show such a wonderful universal form. But at the same time, after seeing that universal form, he is afraid that he has committed so many offenses to Krishna out of his unalloyed friendship. Thus his mind is disturbed out of fear, although he had no reason to fear. Arjuna therefore is asking Krishna to show his Narayana form, because he can assume any form. This universal form is material and temporary, as the material world is temporary. But in the Vaikuntha planets, he has his transcendental form with 4 hands as Narayana. There are innumerable planets in the spiritual sky, and in each of them, Krishna is present by his plenary manifestations of different names. Thus, Arjuna desired to see one of the forms manifest in the Vaikuntha planets. Of course, in each Vaikuntha planet, the form of Narayana is 4-handed, but the 4 hands hold different arrangements of symbols, the conch shell, mace, lotus, and disc. According to the different hands these 4 things are held in, the Narayanas are variously named. All of these forms are one with Krishna. Therefore, Arjuna requests to see his 4-handed feature. Text 46. Kiritinam gadinam chakrahastam ichchami twang drashtumaham tadaiva tinaiva rupena chaturbhujena sahasrabaho bhavavishramurte. O universal form, O 1,000-armed Lord, I wish to see you in your 4-armed form, with helmeted head, and with club, wheel, conch, and lotus flower in your hands. I long to see you in that form. Purport. In the Brahma Samhita 539, it is stated, Ramadi Murti Shukala Niyamena Tishtan. The Lord is eternally situated in hundreds and thousands of forms, and the main forms are those like Rama, Nrsimha, Narayana, and so on. There are innumerable forms, but Arjuna knew that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, assuming his temporary universal form. Now he is asking to see the form of Narayana, a spiritual form. This verse establishes, without any doubt, the statement of the Srimad Bhagavatam that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, and all other features originate from him. He is not different from his plenary expansions, and he is God in any of his innumerable forms. In all of these forms, he is fresh, like a young man. That is the constant feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who knows Krishna becomes free at once from all contamination of the material world. Hare Krishna. So this brings us to 7:46. We'll stop our reading right now and beg for the mercy of the assembled Vaishnavas that they can give their reflections and discuss these extremely important points being made by Arjuna about Krishna and Krishna about himself. Hare Krishna. Tomorrow we'll start by Krishna explaining more to Arjuna. Hare Krishna.
First is from Rati Manjari.
Rati Manjari, Hare Krishna.
She says, Jai Guru Maharaj, so happy that you are well situated in the haven with your 2 golden boys. Krishna takes care of his devotees for sure.
Oh, Rati, I must tell you that especially lately over the last few months, I am being being made acutely aware of just how kind Krishna is, that he is giving me this facility and is protecting me, taking care of me and all others who are taking shelter in this haven. Vaisheshika Prabhu and Nirukula, my surrogate mom, were here, spent a few hours, and they took the prasadam, cooked by Abhaya, and Nikula, who happens to be one of the best cooks in the world, was just blown away by how nice it tasted. So, yes, Krishna is so kind to his devotees, helps us in every way. Hare Krishna.
From Gopakanya Devi Dasi.
Haribol Gopakanya Devi Dasi.
She says, Hare Krishna, dear Maharaj and all assembled sages. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jai Ho Abai Prabhuji for cooking wonderfully for Maharaj.
Haribol.
From Yadutama.
Haribol Yadutama, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Gurudev, my obeisances and all glories to Prabhupada. Thank you for giving everything to share these books with us. Prabhupada writes that our eternal relationship with the Lord can never be forgotten. Does this mean that waking up to our eternal service of the Lord is almost like remembering it, as we become purified by the Lord through our sadhana?
It's like waking up from a dream. When we go to the spiritual world, it's like we wake up from a dream and it never happens. Just like our dreams, we wake up from a dream, even if it's a horrible dream or a wonderful dream, whatever it is, in a few minutes, it's gone. Hare Krishna. Therefore, we would be wise to go there, to do the needful, to go back to the spiritual world and take up our original relationship with Krishna. That's real intelligence. That's real human life. Everything else is animal life. Now the people all over the world are fighting literally like cats and dogs. They'll fight over anything. And being a different political party or being against or for vaccinations, and they're all fighting over nothing. But it's all being arranged by Krishna. How? Why? As we've just heard, as a result of the desires of the living beings. He's putting on this show for them so they can fulfill their perverted material desires. That's it. End of story. Haribo.
And from Rati Manjari.
Haribo Rati.
He said, about tonight's reading, I love this verse, text 36. Arjuna said, O Master of the senses, the world becomes joyful upon hearing your name, and thus everyone becomes attached to you. Although the perfected beings offer you their respectful homage, the demons are afraid and they flee here and there. All this is rightly done.
Yes, exactly. So we should try our best not to participate in this chaos, meaning we shouldn't take sides. We should be neutral. We should understand that all these things are going on according to Krishna's plan. And that's what Krishna is telling to Arjuna by showing him the universal form in which he can see past, present, and future. We shouldn't take sides. If we're told directly by Krishna, as he's telling Arjuna, that he should fight, we'll fight. But our fighting is not, on the battlefield with violence. Our fighting is with the holy name, distributing the holy name, distributing this transcendental literature, which is full of knowledge, real knowledge of who we are, what this world is, and what our actual duties are, where our real life is in the spiritual world. If we go there and let our mind become absorbed in that goal, then all these other conflicts will be marginalized and minimized and made to be seen for what they are, insignificant. Then, when it comes time for us to leave our bodies, and everyone has to leave the body, everyone, no matter who they are, we can know what to do. And we heard the verse quoted today, Janma karma chame divyam, evam yo viditatpadaha. Try to understand Krishna. Try to act in the way that pleases Krishna. Now we'll hear the next few verses, next few chapters rather, what that means in detail, in a nutshell, rather. Hare Krishna.
More from Rati Manjari.
Haribo Rati, this is more like it.
She says, it reminds me of the Harinam. Some persons we meet are immediately attracted to the chanting, and others are immediately repulsed.
They run away, yes. Exactly.
I have heard that Srila Bhaktivedanta wrote that when devotees go out, the living entities hear the holy names. They receive faith. Is this correct?
Yes.
Could you please elaborate?
Means everyone is a devotee. And we're all covered in different ways to different degrees. But when we hear the holy name, it reaches down to the soul. Even if we're covered, the soul becomes aware, and it gives the soul a chance to taste something different than the material world, no matter who they are. Either they're very violently opposed or they're very violently attracted. Hardly anyone you see is just neutral. The soul comes in the material world with a packet. There's the swabhav, which is the original nature of the soul. The original nature, what the soul likes, what the original. But along with that, there's this envelope, which is containing the unfulfilled desires. And together they come out of Mahavishnu. And therefore the soul knows where to go, or not knows where to go, but is put where it belongs. And it takes up from where he left off. But the soul is always there. And the soul is always spiritual. The soul always hankers for knowledge and pleasure and to be eternal. He acts those things out, those desires out in the material world differently than in the spiritual world, but the essence is the same. Hare Krishna.
She says, thank you. It is so inspiring.
Hare Krishna. We're inspired by seeing you go out and do your Harinam, even if you can't, pump your little, accordion or your little harmonium. You go out and your voice speaks for itself. It's enlivening, it's enlivened, it's ecstatic, so keep doing it.
And from Anandamurti Devidas.
Yes, Anandamurti.
She says, Dear Guru Maharaj and all assembled devotees, please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for reading Srila Prabhupada's books every day. One Japanese lady who comes to the regular reading of our Bhagavad-gita online asked me a question why Krishna is the topmost and Shiva and Brahma are not. Today I thought I could ask her to read these verses from 37 today.
Yes, very good idea. Hare Krishna.
Rati Manjari says, I will, Guru Maharaj, by your mercy.
Thank you so much. And with that, we'll stop tonight's reading, daily readings of Srila Prabhupada's books. And Srimad Bhagavad-gita As It Is, Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhaktivedanta, Ki Jai. Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. See you tomorrow night, same time, same place, same topic. The unlimited mercy of Krishna as the Bhagavad-gita unfolds to Arjuna and to the whole universe. Hare Krishna. See you tomorrow.